Eric Bieniemy is not going to be coaching in this game, unfortunately. I think the Chiefs could use him still, right? Yeah, the offense came to life the last couple of weeks against decimated secondaries. But yeah, we might as well give our previews and predictions for the game going down. The games that's going on, two games that's going down on Championship Sunday. And the first game that we have is the actual first game. The Ravens and the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. And dare I say, the defensive battle as well. Who wins this game and why? Say, I'll start off with you.
Um, Between the Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, I think the Ravens will win this game. When we talk about the Ravens have no excuses to lose this game. They have zero. They're at home. They have the healthier team. They have the better weapons on offense. They have the better weapons on defense. Their coaching is championship solidified, just like Andy Reid's championship solidified. Their defense has been outstanding this entire season. They have no major injuries on defense at all. And Roquan Smith came out and said, we understand Patrick Mahomes is elite, but we have an elite defense. Great to hear. You have zero excuses to lose this game. Lil stated this whole season. Even on the last show, Lamar Jackson has improved as a passer. He has no weaknesses. This team has no weaknesses. So there should be no reason why they lose this game. I don't want to hear, oh, well, the refs. Oh, well, Patrick Mahomes, we all know he's the warden of the AFC. We've been saying it for years. He's the warden of the AFC. But guess what? People have been bolstering about the Ravens. We want to talk about fraudulent. If they lose this game, we're going to have a question. We're gonna start questioning the Ravens. If they want to talk about fraudulent, I'm just saying, because they better not lose this game. There's no reason. I don't want to hear, oh, Ladarius Sneed is that guy. He can't guard the whole field. He ain't going to be locking out Mark Andrews, who's back, by the way, for this game.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear a single excuse for Lamar Jackson if he loses this game. I like Lamar Jackson. Super talented. Yes. I think he's going to get to the Super Bowl one day. It's not like this is the only year he's going to make it, even though that's what the media is spinning for whatever reason. Don't get it. But at the end of the day, they have zero excuses to lose this game. The Bills last week had zero excuses to lose that game. They lost, but they had zero excuses. You're at home. You have home field advantage. You have the more talented team. There should be no reason why you lose. If you're telling me Andy Reid is X's and O's above everyone in the NFL, okay, fine. You can concede that. If you want to concede that, fine. But you have no excuses to lose with a roster like this, who's extremely healthy. Maybe if you want to say it, I'll give you one, because J.K. Dobbins is out. If that's the one you want to ride, if that's the coattail you want to ride on and say he's out, that's why they lost. All right, go ahead, take it. I'm not gonna. I'll go back and forth with you about that. No excuses to lose this game. Lamar Jackson has to go win this out and go to the Super Bowl. And ask all those narratives, X, Y, and Z, win this game.
Go ahead, cuz.
Oh, man. Lamar Jackson. Drafted, I think the last player drafted in the first round.
Yep.
About 4 quarterbacks picked over him. Won MVP his second year. You know what I mean? They still disrespected this man. All the way up until last year, where his own team didn't even want him. Half of the other NFL teams didn't want him. They didn't want to pay him his money. His mother shouldn't be his agent. He shouldn't get paid the highest. He runs too much. He can't throw. He can't be in the pocket. This man done heard it all. This man done went through and heard it all. He done went through adversity and always prevailed. About to win his second MVP. How old is Lamar Jackson? What, 26, 27 years old?
Around there, yep.
Phenomenal athlete. He's thrown the football perfectly. And now he got people around him on the defensive end. He got some weapons. He got John Harbaugh. We just talked about the Harbaugh is one of the greatest coaching status. As you said, the coaching is there, right? We can't even say that's a championship coach. Coaching is there. You got coaching, you got defense, he got offense, he got weapons. Him that by himself, Lamar Jackson by himself is super dynamic, super explosive. I love this guy. You know what I mean? And I think this dude is primed up to win this game and primed up to win a Super Bowl. But it ain't this year. So I'm not picking the Baltimore Ravens. And Zay, you said everything, meaning he have to do it. And that's the reason why he might not do it. Pressure could be on. The only way I see Baltimore win, and I don't want to side my pick, the only way I see Baltimore win this game if they blow them out. If this is a close game, I'm not picking them. And I'm picking this to be a close game. So with that being said, I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs. Have nothing to do with their talent. Have nothing to do with if their defense is better or they got better offensive weapons, nothing like that. It's the championship pedigree. It's the experience. Okay? They going into this game knowing how to win. Lamar Jackson is going in this game, or the Baltimore Ravens, this particular team, figuring out how to win. Okay? When you're going against somebody who already know how to win, that first quarter is going to be crucial. Because guess what? They already know how to win. So they already know how they got to attack. Y'all trying to figure out how to win, and by the time y'all try to figure that out, it might be too late. And if y'all did come out early, the fear of Patrick Mahomes, the mystique of the Kansas City Chiefs might be hovering over your head. They came back from double digit multiple times in the playoffs, two times in the Super Bowl. This is what they do. So it's they gotta have a game from first quarter to fourth quarter almost perfect. And if they don't got the perfect game, if they get that turnover, if they don't make that crucial third down, it could be problematic. And I see that biting them in the butt. So I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs for no real reason at all. Not from a talent perspective. I'm just picking the Kansas City Chiefs from playoff experience and championship pedigree. And I got the score 27-20. Kansas City.
Yeah. Hi, guys. What's going on? Look, man, I'm buying myself some time, stalling here. Stalling. Championship DNA is real. Can't lie. It is. When you've been here before, you know what it is to be here. You know how it feels. Okay. You were a little bit more chillax if you were down, 7-0. Okay. I got it. I've been here before. I know what to do. I was down 24-0 against Deshaun Watson and the Texans in my own backyard. I was down that same year 10-0 against the Titans. Came back. I know what to do. I was down in the Super Bowl. 10 points to the 49ers. Came back. Kyle Shanahan. Choke. Yes, I get it. And it's real. But as I work my way to answer here, a lot of people talk about Lamar versus Patrick Mahomes. You see the bottom. Yes, it's obviously going to be those two guys we talk about that we look upon, that's going to get the recognition if either team wins the game. You got the defense, right? The top two defenses in the AFC going at it as well. But I think it's also going to be the battle of the coaching staff, right? You got the duo of Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo that has been very good, especially in these moments. That's why they have won the championship, along with the quarterback play, because, he went up against Josh Allen a lot of times. And what was the difference? Coaching. That was the difference. Josh Allen deserved to be on the same field. At least he showed me that last week. At least he showed me that a couple years ago, 13 seconds. But coaching made the difference. You got guys like Steve Spagnuolo who's going to mix it up against Lamar Jackson, try to confuse Lamar Jackson, test his intellect, his IQ, right? We know he's going to do that. He's going to throw different looks. He's not going to blitz, all the time like Todd Bowles or like who was a blitzer guy? Brian Flores, right? When you know what's coming, the book is out. He's going to try to confuse you. He's going to drop back his zone. He's going to blitz on third downs. He's going to mix it up, but you also got the Ravens coaching staff, and they're young, right? Rookies, they came straight from the college game, and they've been doing a phenomenal job. Look at Mike McDonald, got a lot of interviews coming up. Tom Munkin showed me that he can make adjustments last week when the Texans bought the blitz, and he was able to make them pay for their aggression by running fake RPOs and having Lamar drop back and throw the ball to Isaiah Likely for a touchdown, and just was able to make the adjustments that Greg Roman couldn't do in the past. And I get it. He had the answers for the blitz. And if he can continue to have the answers for the blitz, then how can you defend Lamar Jackson if they have the answers for the one thing that used to stop him, which is the blitz and crowding the boxes, forcing him to pass. Now, if he could defeat that, then how you defend him? You drop back in coverage? Okay, Lamar Jackson is mobile. He can create outside the structure, so he can buy time and allow his receivers to get open. How do you defend this man? Say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes, too, right? Do you blitz him? Do you drop back? I mean, how do we stop this guy? But I think for me, the difference in this game is going to be running the football, and I think the Chiefs have a clear weakness when you talk about their inability to stop the running game. I mean, the book is out. We saw what the Raiders did, a couple weeks ago where they didn't even pass the ball. They passed the ball 3 times in the game, and they just ran it up the gut and won on third down. They were running the ball on third down, couldn't stop the run on third down. Last week, we saw what the Bills were able to do, 182 yards on the ground. Josh Allen had a field day on the ground as well. Now, you look at the Ravens last week, and they had about 250 yards, if I'm not mistaken, on the ground. I don't have the exact number here, but I think it was over 200 yards on the ground. And what does that mean for Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, and Lamar Jackson, that they can have a field day running the ball? And can they make the plays down the field when it's needed? Can Lamar be that guy? I think he can. I think he showed that he is an elite quarterback in the NFL. I mean, that playoff narrative was fabricated, bro. Peyton Manning was 0-3, in his first 3 playoffs. Matthew Stafford was 0-3 before he won a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan was 0-3 before he got to a Super Bowl. So that thing was fabricated. I understand we want everything now. I want to win now. Yeah, you got to win now, right? Giannis, you got to win now. All these guys got to win now. But at the end of the day, you win when the time is right. And the time is now for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I think they send Kansas City home.
The Ravens went off for about 230 rushing yards, I think. That's not happening with the Chiefs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When we talk about what the Chiefs played against the first 2 weeks in the playoffs, they played against the Dolphins, pass heavy. The Bills, historically, pass heavy. You're focused on the pass more than a run against Buffalo. Of course, they ran up the thing. And I think when you talk about the Ravens, historically, run heavy. They're a run heavy team. Lamar Jackson had 100 rushing yards, threw for 152 yards. So they're a run heavy team, run first, run second, run third. And that's going to be what the Chiefs are going to focus on, running. Let's see how I can throw the football. I said this a couple times. I said it off air. I said it on air. They want to see Lamar Jackson throw for 300 passing yards. Let's see how often he's going to throw the football. If he throws for 30 times in this game and Chiefs lose, the Chiefs will be okay with it. I guarantee if Lamar Jackson throws for 30 times this game, the Chiefs will be okay with losing because they know Lamar Jackson historically does not throw 30 pass attempts in a game. He doesn't.
And I don't think that will be the case in this game.
They definitely it better because I don't know if that run game will be there.
No, it's gonna be there. It was there all year. It was there all year for everybody. It's not gonna be there for the Ravens.
Will live and die on that hill. If we're gonna take away your strengths, we're gonna take away what you do the best, and you better show us what you can do with your arm.
I mean, Lamar Jackson is mobile, so it makes the running game better too.
Listen, I think Lamar Jackson, the running game is going to be there. I think the Baltimore Ravens is going to be there. I think it's going to be a really good game. But I am questioning the moments. And I'm questioning that because that's win football games, especially playoff games. The moment. See, Josh Allen was great, but he wasn't great in the moment. He had the ball in his hands, and he should have won that game. Okay? He couldn't do it. If you don't make crucial third down plays or have a crucial turnover, that could be it. That could be a wrap for you. And I'm questioning Baltimore in the moment. Because Baltimore technically should win this game. So everything y'all both said, I'm like, absolutely. I totally agree. But I'm questioning their moment. That's all I'm doing. And I'm highlighting the championship pedigree.
Listen, Freddie. He better win this damn game.
That's what I'm saying to myself. Word.
How improved he is.
I don't care about championship DNA. Like, you that guy, if you elite, if you want to win your next MVP like Jokic won back-to-back MVPs. Where's the chip? You have to win the chip.
You just said it, man. You can't you bounce it around. You said that it's overrated. Peyton Manning was 0-3. Maybe it's not his time. I would not call this man a fraud or the Baltimore Ravens a fraud. I wouldn't do that if they lose. I wouldn't. I didn't call Peyton Manning a fraud when he was losing.
I mean, we're not calling him a fraud. We just hold him accountable. You won back-to-back. Not back-to-back, but you won 2 MVPs. Go win the championship.
Not Lamar. I'm not calling Lamar Jackson fraudulent. That team going to be fraudulent though if they lose this game because you have everything is for you. Home advantage, healthy team. You got everything. How to improve quarterback? Apparently, he's an improved passer in the league. That everyone's been telling me. How the hell you losing to the Chiefs team? I'm not trying to hear that. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear about how great the Ravens are, and then they lose to probably the worst version of the Chiefs team we've seen in the Patrick Mahomes era.
Literally.
And so I'm not going to hear them losing this game. I don't want to see it. I don't care if they 24, 23. I don't want to see it.
They got to come up in those moments, though.
Look, my last point is that I'm not allowing Travis Kelce to beat me. Like, think about it. When you look at that Buffalo game, they really needed everything to go right and to have a complete game offensively, which they didn't have all year, but they had in that game in particular. And it helps when your secondary, if your Buffalo was decimated, I mean, you're running out of guys, you're running out of depth. Like, there's so much you can do as a coordinator to even try to be creative with the lack of resources to your disposal. And the Chiefs played a complete perfect game and almost blew the game, right? Like, Travis Kelce had a very good game.
Perfect game.
It was close too. I mean, obviously that fumble, made it an unperfect game.
Yeah,
but they almost played, when you consider how bad they look all year offensively, they played their best, like literally the best Chiefs offense all year was in the game last week. That is. But at the end of the day, the Bills secondary was getting roasted by Mason Rudolph in the second half as well. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is Kelce didn't go off the last couple of weeks prior to this game because teams had the resources to bracket Kelce, take him out. And that's when they forced other guys to step up and make a play, and they weren't making those plays. Only Rashid Rice was out here with the short game making plays. MVS didn't make those plays. Mecole Hardman wasn't making plays. He almost fumbled the game away last week. Really? So my thing is, if you take away Kelce, and you have the depth, and they have the guys, they have Patrick Queen, they have Wilcon Smith, they have the depth and the guys to take away Kelce, else is going to beat me. On the Chiefs team. Yes, they may have the championship pedigree, but that fumble out of bounds was not championship pedigree by Mecole Hardman.
Here's the thing. I'm talking about moments. So you keep saying, they got the defense to do it, X, Y, and Z, right? Let's go to Lamar Jackson. Let's go to Baltimore offense. 3rd down and 7. They're gonna have moments like this, but they're gonna have to do it consistently throughout the duration of a game. They're gonna have to make plays, and when the moment is stacked, I'm questioning that. That's all. And if I didn't question that, this would be a blowout to me. I think Baltimore should blow this team out on paper. Like, this should be a blowout, right? That's why I said, if it's a blowout, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that they won't have the pressure of the moment, right?
That's why Isaiah's saying they should win.
10, I'm like, 31-10. They don't got the pressure of the moment. They can play free and loose. This makes sense. But if it's close, that moment can get to you. It gets to everybody. You know what I mean? Man. Some of the greats.
One last time. This team better not lose at home, healthier roster, the MVP of the league, I guess the most improved player in the playoffs, I guess, if you want to talk about improvements. So it's no excuses. I'm sorry. I understand championship pedigree is a thing. Having championship DNA is a thing. But to Joe Burrow, when he came in there with a rookie Jamar Chase, he took Patrick Mahomes out of there. In that second half of the season, he took him out of there. Took his heart out. So it's one thing to say, like, Patrick Mahomes, Kelce, they've been there. This coach staff has been there. Yeah, we understand that. But this team cannot fold under pressure at home. It can't happen.
Right. I want to be fair to that point that you just brought up with Joe Burrow. He had no expectations, though. Lamar got tons. He's a 2-time MVP. So when Joe Burrow went into Kansas City, there was no expectation for him to win. So it's a little different. It's a little different when
it's kind of like self-contradicted.
Expectations is a real thing.
But what happened to the championship DNA? I thought that's a real thing too.
No, I'm saying that when they had the pressure, when Cincinnati had the pressure on, they was playing free. They was playing loose. Look Joe Burrow.
But that game, but look, Cuzzo.
The second time, hold on a second. The second time that he played at Kansas City, he threw 2 interceptions, bro. Because pressure was that they were supposed to go win that.
But the Bengals got robbed in that game. I made that very clear 1,000 times.
I know that, but he still threw 2 interceptions.
But the thing here is, but the thing here is that first game that you're talking about, where it was like they're playing free. We got here, we overachieving. The lights. Oh my God, it's not too big. We just playing free. But that game went to the 4th quarter. That game went to overtime. Yeah. So that's when the championship DNA normally kicks in, but it didn't.
I get it.
So whatever free they was playing, I'm pretty sure they were nervous as hell in that 4th quarter, trying to send the Chiefs home, but they won the game. So what Zay is saying, and where I agree with, is that there's no excuses for Lamar Jackson to not win this game. Yes, I brought up the Peyton Manning. They were 0-3, but Lamar Jackson already lost his fair shares of playoff games. I think the time is now. You talking about another MVP, and what you winning MVPs for if you're not winning the championship?
That's the expectations. You got a 2-time MVP. Ask LeBron James. He was a 2-time MVP and couldn't get out of the second round. I saw it.
All right, let's move on to the next game, the final game that we have here at the 6:30 p.m. hour. I mean, I'm looking forward to this one as well. Will the Detroit Lions magical season end against the 49ers? And Cousin, the mic is yours.
Will it end? Listen, San Francisco, I think Debo Samuels, I'm not even sure of his status right now. And he's a big part of San Francisco. But I think San Francisco still got enough weapons, enough defense, offense, defensive line, offensive line, running game, coaching, to still at home, to still come out with a victory. Would this game be tight? Would it be close? I think it'll be a competitive game in the first half. But I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers to win this game. Brock Purdy, I think he's going to his first Super Bowl, Mr. Irrelevant and all of these things. You got Christian McCaffrey as a running back. You still got Kittles as a tight end. They still got a dominant offensive line. And not that Detroit can't play. Detroit can play. I watched them play. But I still think they got a lot of holes, especially on the defensive end. They give up big plays. And I think San Francisco could exploit that and take advantage of those big plays. Offensively, they could become stagnant at times as well. And I think San Francisco will force some turnovers and get some pressure on the quarterback and have the quarterback make a couple of mistakes, as we've seen him to do from time to time. So I'm picking the San Francisco 49ers to win, not necessarily in a blowout, but a very convincing win, somewhere around 31-20. In that area.
Yo, Zay, I would love to jump in here. I'll let you bring us home. It's going to be a very good match. You know, I'm hoping that we get the conference, title game that we got similar to a couple years ago when both games went to overtime. The Rams and the Saints and the Chiefs and the Patriots both went to overtime. I think we could be in for a similar, may not be overtime, but maybe fourth quarter theatrics that come along with the game. I'm going to go with the Lions here. That's where my mind is telling me to go. Maybe my heart, I don't know, maybe both. Look, I just think the Lions offense, when you start with the breakdown, it marries the run and pass game, and they do it so effectively from week one. Against the Chiefs when they went, prime time television, all the expectations, all the hype. Everybody's following my trend that I started a couple years ago. You got guys like Louis Riddick getting credit for it when I've been said it, right? But I don't got the clout that Louis Riddick has, so nobody gave me my props. I should be trending on Twitter right now, with all due respect, because I said the Lions were going to run the North. And with all those expectations of bandwagon people jumping on the same bandwagon as me, through the offseason, they came in week one, beat the Chiefs, all the expectations, won the playoff game the first time in the last 30 years, and then won it again. And all these expectations, they are doing it. I'm saying this team right here is playing with a lot of momentum. I mean, they could run the football, they could pass the football. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who was good against his own coverage, could find his spots to get Jared Goff to throwing the ball, right there in those tight windows. You got a guy like Josh Reynolds who, can line up in the slide, can line up on the outside and be a mismatch 6'3". You got guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, and you got the slasher, you got the grinder, David Montgomery, and you got the offensive line, which I think is the biggest strength of this Lions team, because even when you blitz or send four or whatever, they still could block for Jared Goff. Todd Bowles sent the blitz. They still couldn't really get to Jared Goff. They got to him like twice, but they couldn't get to him on a regular basis because the offensive line was so good. You got guys like Penei Sewell, who the Lions, first of all, he's one of the best right tackles in the game. And then the Lions, I noticed in the game against the Buccaneers, Ben Johnson motioned him to the left. They ran the ball his way. So they're running the ball in his way. They did it 2 times in a row against the Rams and the Buccaneers, where they ran the ball on his side because he could block and allow those gaps to open up for the running back. And then you got a guy like Frank Ragnow, or however you pronounce his last name. I'm not good with pronouncing names, but Frank, my guy Frank, like a hot dog, and he's sandwiching these, defenders. Vita Vea is one of the best interior defensive linemen in the game. 6'4", 130-40 pounds, and he was hurt in that game. He had a sprained ankle, and he still was able to have the big impact on the game he had, and nobody talks about it. Nobody talked about Frank Ragnow, or however I'm gonna call him, Frank R, right? Nobody talks about it, how his great performance literally won them the game, because had he went down, had he sat on the bench because of the sprained ankle, they probably wouldn't have been able to run the football. Vita Vea is a player, and he was able to stop him. That's why I'm going with them, because they offensive line. Now, defensively is a whole nother can of worms. I understand their secondary is not great. CeeDee Lamb, 200 yards on them. Puka Nacua, 180 something yards on him. Mike Evans, 140 something yards on him. Yes, the the 49ers are going to be able to score, whether it's Debo in the game or not, whoever, Ayuk, whatever, they're going to be able to score. However, I trust Jared Goff in these moments. He did it before. He went to Drew Brees' house and beat Drew Brees in his backyard. He made the Super Bowl before. He knows what it is to be here. And Kyle Shanahan, like I said before in my breakdown of last week's game against the Packers, did everything in the book to blow the game for Brock Purdy by forcing him in those conditions when he knows his quarterback is struggling to continue to pass the football instead of giving CMC, the MVP of this team, the ball in the game to help him out. He coaches conservatively. We know that's going to have an impact on how many points they score. We know Dan Campbell, the first thing in his mind is to go for it. I think he will. I like the Lions, and I ain't lying.
We're both great takes, by the way. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Detroit Lions are going to the Super Bowl. San Francisco, they're a talented team. We all know that. Shanahan, as Lou just said, he coaches too conservative. He doesn't utilize their talents to their maximum potential and what they could be and what they should be doing in the playoffs. And they become micro. They become a smaller version of who they are when they're in the brightest lights because Shanahan coaches in that facet. Jared Goff already played the biggest game in his career, and that was against his former team, the Rams, in a playoff game. That was his Super Bowl. The Rams versus the Lions was his Super Bowl. That was where all the pressure was on him, and he beat them. So right now he's playing as loose as he possibly can. Now I can see that happening in San Fran. You're gonna see lightning show in San Fran. The way it isn't San Fran. Yeah, it's not Detroit. It's in San Fran. The way Jared Goff will play, you'll see a loose version of him. He's gonna be throwing the ball a lot. We think there'll be a running bonanza. We think it'll be Jahmyr Gibbs, and David Montgomery. No, there'll be a Jared Goff fireworks show in San Fran, and he's gonna light them up. I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think the Lions are gonna win by a lot. Because Dan Campbell's an aggressive guy. He sees it. He sees the Super Bowl. He sees it. And Shanahan is a conservative guy. Even when they're losing by a lot, he's still conservative. He's not loosening the playbook. He's not letting them play freely. No. Run the ball. Run the ball again. Yo, Birdie, run it again. He'll go 3 and out so many times. I think the Lions are going to capitalize on it.
Yeah, they should run the football. When I talk about conservative, I'm not talking about running the football. I'm talking about when that clock, when you got time, when you got 2 timeouts and 4 minutes left to go in the half, you try to go and put up points. Yeah. Instead of milking the clock. That's what I'm talking about conservative. They should run the football with CMC. That's their best path to victory, especially if we get conditions like we got last week. I'm talking about making sure when you have time to put up points and you have the ball, you have timeouts, you make sure you put up points and run up the scoreboard because you never know when those points are going to be the difference. Look what happened to Sean McVay when they played the Lions, when he was conservative and he passed up on halftime points, when he passed up on opportunities to come back and win the game in the fourth quarter. Dan Campbell took that. He took that W away from Sean McVay. He wanted it. He said, give me that W. I'm going to go here with my guys and win the game. And that's what I think he's going to do again.
He's going to run the football, but not down. When he's down 14, down 21, he's going to keep running the football. He ain't going to pass the ball. He ain't going to be comfortable throwing the football. That's a Shanahan I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're down points and you still think you got time to come back. That's the Shanahan I'm going to see when they play Detroit. Dan Campbell sees blood. He's a shark. He smells blood in the water. He's going for the food. That's what Dan Campbell does. That's what you see Jared Goff doing. That's what you see David Montgomery getting the extra yards. Jahmyr Gibbs. This team is ready and primed to go to a Super Bowl. The young Lions of the NFC, literally.
Just to be fair, just to be fair, is it fair to say they 2 playoff games was competitive?
Well, on the last 2, the Lions or the 49ers?
No, the Lions.
Yeah, it was competitive, very.
All right, Zay. So now they play 2 competitive games at home, and you expect them to get a blowout on the road against better competition.
Well, it's not. Like I said, it's not talent. It's coaching. It's X and O's. I'm
okay.
going off X and O's.
Okay, you said blowout. That's why I'm only questioning your blowout.
I feel like the mental fortitude of the Detroit Lions coaching staff versus the San Francisco coaching staff is 2 different things. It's aggression versus conservative.
I'm just questioning your blowout. You said the Lions play 2 competitive games at home. They're going on the road. And they're playing in better talent. And now you're expecting a blowout.
We'll see what happens, whether we get a blowout or whether we get the show out. I think it's going to be a show. I think these 2 games are going to be very good games. That's going to have us talking crazy the next time we get on the air.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.